Yo, what is up guys? Del Boy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button, hit the like, all of that good stuff. So today I will be bringing you another episode in my heavyweight prospect series. Today we're going to be taking a look at the British heavyweight prospect, Fabio Wardley. Fabio Wardley is 25 years old, he's listed as 6'5", and he is 9-0 as a professional boxer. I think when we talk about Fabio Wardley, we really need to keep things into context. Now, Fabio Wardley differs a lot from basically everybody on my prospect series so far. Basically, Fabio Wardley has no amateur background whatsoever. He took up boxing late and he literally had no amateur fights whatsoever. He only had 4 white-collar fights. Basically, in the UK, there is a white-collar scene. Essentially, white-collar boxing is for novices. You can do it for things like charity and things like that. Really low level, nothing really to write home about. And that is Fabio Wardley's background before he turned into a professional boxer. So you need to look at Fabio Wardley in context. Now in context, looking at what this guy can do in the ring, considering he started late with no amateur background, I think this guy actually looks quite impressive, I've got to say, considering the late start to the sport and the fact that he had no amateur background. First and foremost, he's got pretty good physical dimensions. I believe he's about 6'5", looks like he's got fairly long arms. He moves himself around the ring quite effectively, not got slow feet. I like the fact that he bends at the waist, he changes levels, he's nice and fluid. The jab that he's got is quite quick and snappy, again, pops it from body to head. His hand speed is more than respectable, I would say, seems to have pretty decent power, and he spots openings in fights, you know. When he's got opportunities to throw counter shots, he will actually take them. He's got surprisingly good timing for a guy who started the sport late. You know, he actually reads his opponents quite well. If I had to hazard a guess, I would say Fabio Wardley's a guy who sits down and actually watches boxing for studying purposes. I would say that he understands the technicalities of boxing quite well, because, you know, for a guy to start that late and be as advanced as he is, he must be sitting down and watching it and actually taking it in, trying things in the gym, etc, etc, you know. And the fact that this guy is actually this advanced, considering the late start, to me that shows that this man is also a quick learner, so that in itself leads me to believe that this guy is going to improve further in the future. You know, the guy's only 25 years old, like I said. He's got this far in a very short amount of time, so who knows where this guy's potential ends. I think Fabio Wardley is a dark horse in the British heavyweight scene. Am I prepared to say this guy's going to become a top 5 heavyweight in his prime? Absolutely not. There are heavyweight prospects I rate higher than Fabio Wardley, no doubt about it, but I think this guy is a dark horse. Certainly worth watching. He does things in the ring that are very interesting. He brings a unique style, you know, and like I said, considering where he started, I'm actually quite impressed with what I see. If you told me that this kid had no amateur fights whatsoever, I'd be shocked, to be honest. I wouldn't believe you, but that's the case, you know. Go back and watch his last fight with Simon Vallily. I know Vallilly's no great shakes, but look at the left hook that he hurt Vallily with before he stopped him. How he was stepping on the back foot and still managed to counter and hurt Vallily going backwards. Hurting a man going backwards is a very, very, very hard skill. You know, not everybody can do that. And when he hurt Vallily, look at how he finished that fight, you know. Didn't rush in. He gave himself correct distance, went from body to head, and he got his man out of there. Never smothered his work, never headhunted, just a really clinical finish. And usually, that sort of temperament and know-how wouldn't be with a guy who's had no amateur fights. I find his fighting style very impressive, considering where he started. I really do. This guy's got a natural aptitude for fighting and boxing, and he's obviously a very fast learner, great athlete, in good shape. He's fairly big at 6'5". Listen, again, I'm not saying this guy's going to be a world champion. I wouldn't bet on it, to be quite honest. However, the guy is a dark horse, and he's worth watching. And I quite like his style, actually, as well. As I say, as a pro, he is 9-0 with 8 knockouts. He's just won the English heavyweight title. The best name on his resume is Simon Vallily. That was his last fight. So, listen, Fabio Wardley hasn't fought a high level of competition, that has to be said. But if we're talking about his next fight, who I would like to see him fight, someone like Dave Allen would be a great test for Fabio Wardley. To me, Dave Allen is an English level fighter basically, and Fabio Wardley holds that title. I think that would be a great fight to learn from. You know, Dave Allen, I don't rate him as a fighter, but the guy's very durable. He's been in there with a lot of guys, so that would be a good measuring stick to really see where Fabio Wardley's at. You know, what happens when he's hitting a guy that doesn't go away? You know, how's he going to look against Dave Allen? I think that would be a great learning fight for Fabio Wardley. Again, we need to consider that this guy had no amateur background, so there's really no need to rush this guy, and he's only 25 years old, so the guy's still got a bit of learning to do. Someone like Dave Allen next would be a great step up in my opinion. Jesus Christ, I never thought I'd say that about Dave Allen, but yeah, I think Dave Allen would be the ideal fight. I wouldn't even argue with an opponent like Tom Little, to be honest. I'll be completely honest. As I say, there's no reason to rush Fabio Wardley, but now the guy's getting a little bit of camera time, now he's getting a bit more notoriety, he will be expected to take on somewhat known opponents, you know, and guys like Dave Allen, Tom Little, for his next couple of fights would suffice in my opinion. So yeah, ultimately, I'm not prepared to say Fabio Wardley is a great prospect or a guy I tip to go far, but he's a dark horse. He's a dark horse, you know. How far he's come in this short amount of time is impressive, and that kind of leads me to believe that he would actually improve in the future also, and maybe turn into a really good fighter, who knows. But Fabio Wardley, certainly a guy to look out for. Interesting heavyweight prospect with an interesting style. Anyway, lads, share your thoughts below. What do you make of Fabio Wardley? How far do you think he can go? I certainly think he can be a good domestic heavyweight, you know, maybe win a British title, something like that. But who knows? Maybe he could go further. You never know. You can't tell with heavyweight boxing. A lot of heavyweights have started late in life, and they actually went on to have really good careers, you know, so maybe Fabio Wardley's going to be one of those guys. We shall see. Anyway, share your thoughts below. It's been your boy Del Boy. Peace.